Good morning, everyone. My name's Simon Holden. I am the Sheriff of Tippingham, and here with me, as he will be every Monday now, is Judge Pottage, where we're going to do some Judge's Duels, which are horses to follow we've seen in the last week. Now, Judge is going to explain a little bit more about the format and the record of them so far. But before we get into that, Judge is going to be joining me at least 3 times a week on this channel, and the exciting news is from next week. At least one of those is going to be live. Now we're going to be coming out live, and we'll all sorts of fun going on there. Take my word for it. So very, very quickly before I bring him on and explain the format. On Saturday, Fairy King, my first Newmarket max bet. I said it was the strongest pay bet I'd given all year. Well, absolutely scooted in. I told the judge on Friday night, I know he got his little shilling on. It's back today, and the word is this is equally strong. So if you got the top link, it's a £5. First one absolutely scooted in. We are back today with the second Newmarket Max, our exciting new service. Now, Judge's Duels, what's this all about? What have we been getting up to on your channel, mate?
Well, it's been going, I think it's about 11 weeks now, something like that. Certainly, I just have it written down here. Yeah, 11 weeks before this week. So far, I've tipped up... or we have, certainly, but I've tipped up 31 horses, of which 25 have run at least one since, have at least run since. And then out of those, we've had 9 winners and 11 placed in either their next start or the start after. So that's running about 80%. And when I say placed, they're not like 1 to 2 seconds. We're talking about horses. No. We have Music Society in the week, perhaps its second run after I tipped it up. That got beat at Shorthead at 9 to 1. We had another winner from Judge's Duels week 9, Thunder Legend, won at 13 to 8. That's his first run since we tipped it up. So I'm very pleased with the way things are going so far. And it's not always the obvious ones that we're going for. So we're just trying to find horses for, your tracker that you're following in your next couple of starts. You've always got to give horse one run, and I always say certainly 2. And if you think it's going to win again, for example, something like Fresh Hope, that's won twice since. We've had a couple like that that won sort of 2 or 3 starts. You can't keep following them, but I'm on about in their next 2 starts. I'm very pleased with the way things are going, and hopefully we'll find a few more today. That's the idea of it. Yeah.
Excellent. So get these in your tracker. You can get free trackers, ATR, there's other ones, and these are running at 80%. So Judge, give us your first duel from the past week.
Yeah, I quite like these racing league Thursday evenings. There's some really good racing at some of these tracks. And there was one at Newcastle on Thursday, and a couple caught my eye there. And I think at the previous one, if you remember, Alligator Alley was a David Amara horse that, let's say, couldn't get a run all the way up the home straight. And that followed
actually.
Yes, and that one next time up. Well, I kind of clocked one of his horses doing something similar, and that was Young Fire. This horse now has slipped down to a mark. It ran on the Thursday. It's in the 6:45. This horse now rated 95 and 88 on the all-weather. Well, it's actually won off a mark of 96 and 88 on the all-weather. So it's back down to a mark we know this horse can win off. But this horse really wants soft ground on turf. And we know what the summer's been like, so I've hardly had soft ground all year. And this is why a few of my selections this time are wanting sort of good or softer ground. And this is one of them. This horse loves Haydock, and obviously it has got good runs at York. And we've got some Haydock meetings coming up, and we'll have some York meetings coming up. I think this is one you've got to have in your tracker for its next couple of starts, because you watch it back, it never come off the bridle throughout the whole race and just plodded on. You'll have a look in your form book. It's got 11th of 14. That doesn't tell half the story for me. And it's you look at some of the runs even at the beginning of the year. This horse is the only time it's run on soft ground this year, it returned a triple-digit RPR. It's like I say, it's down to marker 96. It might have got dropped another pound. We'll find out later on today, because that's when the actual new handicap marks come out. I'm guessing it go down another pound, because then if it gets to marker 95, and below, it'll be running in 0 to 95s as well. So it's been running in class 2. That's my first duel, mate. Young Fire.
Yeah, I mean, on that subject, I wasn't waving there as a flyweight, but on that subject, we are going to have late season. We are going to get a soft ground spell, and we are going to have some very, very well handicapped soft ground horses, aren't we? That have been running on on the wrong. So that's just a little pointer there. I've got to very, very quickly, Judge. I'd say what, slightly going off the point. We watched the new Elvis film last night here. Yeah, very good. Now, I won't spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but what I will say is he dies at the end. So, I'm not going to spoil it. But yeah, he does die.
At that point, I go,
Yeah. Let's hope there's no Heartbreak Hotel for you on today's result. Now, I'm going for 2 races at Goodwood. Quirky track, but the last 2 races on Saturday, there's 2 horses caught my eye. Now, you might think these are from the bleeding obvious, but I do think there's some good reason to think that these 2 you need to be on next time out. Now, the 4:45 on Saturday, the penultimate race, was won by a horse called Precisely, trained by What the Butler Saw, John Butler, and ridden by Jim Crowley. Now, this is a horse on a real roll. And I think the second horse, City Streak, a 3-year-old, only getting £6 from it, trained by Andrew Baldwin, ridden by Jason Watson, got within a length of it, was beaten 3/4. I think that was a hell of a performance from a 3-year-old, because there won't be many stronger horses kicking about in Class 4s at the moment than Precisely. It's an improving 3-year-old. It should go late season on soft ground. There's a bit of cut here on Saturday. He actually got the lead and Precisely out-battled him late on. Crowley give it the works late on. I'm not having a go at Jason Watson. I think he was a bit outpowered. And I think City Streak might still be a bit weak. I think this race will have brought him on. He's still improving. He's only 3. I think there's some races to be plundered in the next couple of months with this. I'm not sure whether they'd come back to Goodwood. Possibly. I could see this coming to Ascot, Salisbury, the usual Andrew Baldwin haunts. You might even bring it up to Haydock, what you were talking about, the track you talked about. But I certainly think City Street, I could see him running up a little sequence. He will go up a couple of pounds for this, but he's improving. Yeah. He probably won't run into a tough cookie like Precisely next time. And I think he's one to get in your tracker. I can see him running up a little sequence late season. That's City Streak, who ran in the 4:45 at Goodwood. That's my first horse to follow.
That run by City, they went clear, the 2 of them as well, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
City Streak actually travelled the best in that race. He's not the first time for me. He looks like he might need some headgear, because he kind of does it, and then he did battle, to be fair to him, but he does.
I know what you mean. I thought he did actually battle on Saturday.
What I'm trying to say is, well, I think there might be a little bit left in the locker. So I kind of see where you're coming from. I think there's definitely a win in him in the next couple of starts for sure. Yeah, I like the horse. I think there's, in the right grade, obviously. There's no point in trying to bite off more than he can chew. But I think he's a winner waiting to happen, mate. Yeah, very good.
Very much so. Very much so. Right, give us your second, Judge.
Right, my second one. Well, I can't go for the all-weather again, although my third one will be. My second one here, I was watching that race at Windsor, because it wasn't strange. It wasn't the greatest racing on Saturday. There were some good races, but smaller fields. The biggest field was a sprint handicap at Windsor on Saturday, 5:34. A good race there, won by Tommy DeVito. Bit of a messy race. I thought Lovely Breeze was an eye catcher. Never got a clear run up the rail. Yeah. She's well handicapped. She'll definitely pop up soon. But the one that really caught my eye was Capote's Dream. Yeah. This horse really was. If you watch it back, it's under minimal hand ride. It crept into fifth. This is another horse once again that slipped down below its last winning mark. He's entered in the Racing League in midweek. He's also entered in the Air Gold Cup. Obviously, he won't get into that, but he might get in the silver or bronze. Yeah,
bronze, I would think.
Yeah, I think it's a mark of 80. He's got a mark of 86 now. I don't think the handicapper will drop him £1 for that run. Well, not if he's using his glasses like I was. This horse won a 30-odd grand race at Windsor, likes Windsor. So if it was to pop out again quick, I'd definitely be keen to backing him. But this is the first time he ran in a Class 4 since he ran at York, where he won. I was either last year or the year before. And that was a good race. He beat Mr. Wagyu there. So we know how good Mr. Wagyu is. So he's got the back class to actually easily win off the mark. He's running off. But really, for me, it was the eye catcher of the week for it, because it's doing it under hand ride, and I think with any kind of vigorous approach and a clear run, I think he would have won. So I I think for me, you've got to be looking at Capote's Dream. So Tom Wardle's, Richard Kingscote was on, and he was on fire the other day. I don't know what he was up to there, but I think perhaps there must be another day in the sun for this horse. Capote's Dream's my second one.
Capote's Dream there, Judge's second duel. Right, after saying my first one was could be regarded as a bleeding obvious, in this one I'm actually not going for one that crept into fifth. I'm going for a horse that won. It's trained by Andrew Baldwin again. Now my angle here is on Friday night and Saturday morning, and this is a theory that I want to get across to people. When you get a hot pot beaten, you've got two ways of looking at it. Now, I'm going to set the scene. On Friday night, there was a huge word for Agagio, trained by Gary Moore, ridden by Reese Clutterbuck, was forced into evens again on Saturday morning. Tipsters that I respect, they're on things of one hand, and people who might know about that yard that I respect. The word was, again, second wave tip, Agagio. Now, I've no reason to believe that horse didn't hit the mark that Gary Moore expected was going to be good enough to win this race. Two horses pulled 4 lengths clear. However, Secret Shadow was the victor, ridden by Will Buick against Reese Clutterbuck. I'm not having a go at Reese Clutterbuck, but it would have helped the short head, would it not? But what interests me now is that I think Agagio was well expected to gag up in this race, and there have been some long faces. There's two ways of looking at it. Did he underperform, or did he run into an extremely well handicapped horse that they weren't expecting to run into? And I think they did. I think Agagio hit his mark on Saturday. It was good enough to stuff some decent horses like Raven's Art, Grand Scheme. They were beaten lights out. Orange Swift is a very solid yardstick. He couldn't get within 6 lengths of these two. I think this is red hot form in a class 4. I would imagine that, though it's not the eye catcher for me, I would imagine that Gary Moore will want his connections money back, and you want to watch where Agagio goes. Yeah. But the word's out on that now. But I think Secret Shadow will be underrated, and I think Baldwin, even with going up, what do you reckon, £4, £5 for that?
Yeah, I think that they were clear once again. The pair were clear again, weren't they? So I think he's going to go up 4 or 5, probably nearer 5. But you know, once again, he came down the outside, didn't he? And he looked like he was going to win comfortably, and then he didn't. I think the fact he's only won a short head has made him it's helped in terms of getting an extra. And they only wanted the two of them in the market there, didn't they? Like you said, that Ravens Arc, I was trying to make a case for that on the, in that particular race. I didn't like the fact he went down the inside. He's actually, there might be a race in him. There's some money for him, but like you said, I think it's quite a good race for the grade. The pair clear. I wouldn't be putting off either of those horses to following them. I don't think he'll get a great price on Agagio myself next time. I think it might well be the time after next, because everyone's seen it next time. Not that you know what I'm getting at.
He might be unlucky in running, and I just think Secret Shadow is the sort of horse that Baldwin will bang out quick. He's more likely to try and pop up under a penalty. I think actually he'd be better off under a revised mark than a penalty, because he'd get 6, wouldn't he? He'd be running off a 6 or a £7 penalty. Yeah. Now he has won a Class 3 before. And now he's going to go up. But I could see him winning a Class 3 easily. They say he didn't act at Haydock when it was very soft that day, so they might try and stick decent. I mean, look, the goings have got to change at some stage, but it's still not any time soon. So I think he'll win next time if he's. Well, Baldwin's a very, very clever placer of his horses anyway. So
I was kind of thinking he'd had quite a quiet season, but one of my friends was telling me that he's had another good year, and it just shows you. I mean, it did help when he get the 2nd and the 4th in the Derby, didn't it?
I haven't got any friends, by the way, but if I had, I'm sure they would say
he's the other one.
Baldwin. Yeah. So that's my second 2 Baldwin horses in the last 2 races at Goodwood. Like you say, it wasn't a great Saturday. They're not world beaters, but I do think you'll profit if you bet them both the next couple of times they run to get them in that tracker.
it was more like in terms of numbers, Simon. There were some good races, but like even the big race that we got close in again on Saturday only had 11 runners in, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it's surprising, for a 40 grand handicap to the winner or whatever. You think there might be a few more runners.
Anyone would think there was too much racing, wouldn't they?
Not me. Anyway.
There you go. Right, next one,
Right,
Judge.
my final one. Well, I'm going back to the all-weather again on that Thursday, and I think you know that I like this horse, but this horse now is getting to its time of year, and this been another horse waiting for softer ground. And the horse is Golden Apollo, the Tim Easterby horse. I like this horse. This horse was good enough to come second in the Great St Wilfrid last year off a mark in the mid to high 80s. He's obviously a little bit of shadow of the horse he was. He's an 8-year-old now. He's been running consistently this year, especially when he got soft in the description, any kind of soft ground. He won off a mark of 71 earlier this year. Bearing in mind he was well beaten off a mark of 72 at Newcastle. He will almost certainly be dropped a pound back to 71, which is so he'll be back off his winning mark from this year. So this horse is obviously capable of a lot better than that. But you once again watched the run. He was last with a furlong to go. He was last with half a furlong to go, and he still passed 4 horses under a ham ride. And so there was another one of those ones up the rail which you get at Newcastle, just never got a run. So I thought that was quite a nice run myself. That was obviously a Class 3, but he's running in 2 Class 5s this year. One he's won, and the other one he came 5th in, and only got beaten 2 lengths. So I think if he drops down in grade, I preferably would like 7. He seems to have got a little bit slower, like all of us as we've got a bit older. He's run well over 6 at York this year, but a stiff 6 or 7 furlongs on softer ground, I expect this horse to be going very close in his next couple of starts. So Golden Apollo would be my next one in the tracker.
Excellent. So there you go, folks. There's 5 horses given to get in the old tracker and bet them at least the next twice. We're running at an 80% strike rate win and place from these, and they are prices as well. So Judge's Duels on a Monday. He's joining me on my channel, but head over to Judge Pottage, where I believe he's going to be doing some late bulletins this week for the old evening racing. So look out there. And we're going to be coming live on my channel from next week. Now, Newmarket Max, as I say, blasted in the first one on Saturday at 9 to 4. Do get involved at the link below. That runs this afternoon, equally strong. It's going to be a good day. Right, we'll be back tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Thank you, Judge. Have a good day, mate, and good luck. And thank you for the duels. We'll see you very, very soon. It's HH and the Judge, not V the Judge. We've teamed up now on the one and only
HOLDENS. Horses.